and safely bring these things to an end. And of course, that's the big concern, is traffic. As we come up now, we're going to be passing Miramar, the Miramar overpass here for the Miramar Parkway in just a second, and then we'll be entering, we'll get to county line. That's Miramar Parkway right there.
So maybe for anyone who's just joining us, you're looking live at a chase that's taking place on South Florida roadways here. This situation started as some kind of a call in North Lauderdale where shots were fired. The person in the silver Mercedes went southbound on the turnpike for a while, then went westbound 595, got out on University Drive, made a few U-turns right on University Drive, went southbound, northbound, then southbound again, ended up eastbound on 595, and now they are heading south on the turnpike and weaving in and out of that breakdown lane. And we've seen on our little digital speedometer there that we believe that this car at certain points has gone as fast as 100 miles an hour. Go ahead, Ralph.
Yeah, we can fill you in a little bit more now. He's taken the exit ramp to the turnpike extension, so now he just went past what was called a racetrack, and he's coming up to University, just passing University there. Let me bring the camera back out a little bit to give you an idea. That's the turnpike. Part of it's going to be under construction up ahead a little bit, but again, this vehicle, as we've indicated multiple times now, traveling dangerously high rate of speed here, unknown other than if there's the driver in it. There was some shots called fire up in North Lauderdale. This vehicle fit the description when police attempted to stop it, or at least to detain the driver. The vehicle took off. And it came south on the turnpike, and as you enumerated, there are all the different directions of travel that it's gone so far, but it has now become a dual county chase since we left Broward County and are now, well, we'll be south of the county line here when they make that turn on the turnpike extension and go towards Okeechobee Road. But right now it's still in Broward County, but just for a short period of time.
And I guess
there's only one or two exits up here. I believe Red Road is going to be the last exit before that.
And getting into an area where the traffic tends to be a little thicker this time of day, so that might limit his maneuverability, because those areas tend to be a bit more congested than these open sections of the turnpike that we've been seeing. And as you point out, Ralph, for the duration of this event, this guy's been at a steady clip, whether it was on the University or back on 595 at the turnpike. I mean, easily, again, if you figure folks are doing 70, 65, 70 during the rush hour, this guy's blowing.
And you'll see there, and you see that Broward Sheriff's vehicle that was parked there at the exit ramp. You see it now going past. I don't know whether I was going too fast for me to tell if that was a cab or another police car, but it is right now. And I'm doing the math here with the way the system works. He's probably doing about 107 or 108 right now. The calibration is showing me just a little bit higher than the speed, but it takes a while for the computer to catch up. And it actually taking us, for a while there when we were headed south on the turnpike, we couldn't catch the vehicle. We were doing a good 126, maybe 125 miles an hour.
Yeah, you couldn't catch him, and you're in a helicopter. So he's even on University Drive, though, which was pretty congested with traffic, and the person driving was making all these U-turns and everything. Even on University Drive, they were driving really, really fast, dangerously fast.
Yeah, and the other thing to remember too, with all this construction equipment and barrels and cones and things like that.
Yeah, and now he's on the other side of a truck in the breakdown lane, and you just don't know what's around the corner, as you mentioned, with all these cones and lanes closed and construction.
Right. That curve of the turnpike we were talking about, I'll bring the camera back out here just for a second. We won't lose it, I promise. But you can see that's the curve there that starts to take it to the southwest and then a more southerly direction. So we're passing that right now, and you'll see a canal here that we're going to be going over, and that's going to be pretty much the demarcation for County Line Road. So we will now be in Dade County. It's coming up right now, and they are following both by helicopter in the air and also by ground. I'm getting a little sun glare in my eyes. Okay, that's the canal right there. So we are now officially in Dade County, and of course, I'm sure that assistance has been requested. Florida High Patrol is aware of this situation.
And again, this is where the traffic is going to start to get more noticeable, and the roads are under construction, so that's going to present some degree of obstacle for this guy as he's plowing down these roadways here. And again, it's the Highway Patrol, or it's BSO, pardon me, North Lauderdale. But now because we're in Dade County agencies will presumably get involved. And we all know how it's going to end at some point because he's being followed by, on the ground and in the air, wherever this guy elects to stop. Even if he thinks he can run off and get into something.
There's always an eye in the sky.
The eye in the sky is going to reveal that location. Just a matter of when this person gets to the point and reaches that conclusion to just stop. No telling when that will be.
Well, the law enforcement angle is with the especially with the advent of the helicopter being involved with this, it makes it that much more difficult. But originally, way back in the day, was that you could not outrun the radio. As long as they have communication and they have eyes on the suspect that they're looking for, they're usually pretty confident that they'll find out where the vehicle stops or where they bail out or where the person would bail out. A lot of times, and we were actually having a conversation about this with a new pilot today at the hangar, that a lot of times the vehicle, the driver, and the person that's wanted in this kind of investigation will return to a neighborhood that he's familiar with.
Right. We've seen that before.
Bail out.
Right, so they can get out and run. Ralph, as far as we know, just a driver in the car. No, don't know about passengers, but unclear.
Yeah, unclear, and as you can see here, I can actually, we're in a steady mode here, so I'm going to use a digital zoom. The picture's going to hop a little bit, but I can go ahead and take you in a little bit closer. You can see the dark tints on there.
Yeah.
We really cannot see much of anything right there as far as what's going on inside that vehicle. I'll bring it back out because it does get a little blurry when we zoom in that far.
Dark looks perhaps even potentially an illegal tint because you can't see anything in that
Zero.
car. Right.
So now we're
anyway.
Again, we're just
we kind of get lulled. We get lulled by the speed because after a while you kind of get used to it. But look where this guy is. He's in one of the breakdown lanes.
He's in all
there.
The breakdown lanes. He goes from the left side breakdown lane to the right side breakdown lane. And if you just saw on the left breakdown lane, there was a car there. God forbid he wasn't on that side and would have smashed right into that car that was actually in the left breakdown lane, broken down and really hurt people. And so far, we've seen possibly maybe one fender bender as a result of this.
There's 4 wide. That's 4 wide. That's something that they talk about when I watch the NASCAR race. There you go. 4 wide.
Yeah,
there we go.
Okay.
Flip the vehicle. Now slowing down a little bit. Right.
Maybe ran out of gas.
Maybe given up. Maybe cut a tire.
Yeah. Why else would you stop?
That was kind of
on
an
the
abrupt
highway.
Stop. Maybe a tire situation or. That was kind of an abrupt.
A tire? Yeah, it was abrupt. And now.
All right, and they're advising on the radio that the officers that are coming up on it, it's a felony stop. They're telling them not to approach the vehicle right now. They're not going to approach the vehicle. That they call out a signal 0. That means the person may be armed. He's getting out. He's getting out of the car with his arms up.
And again, we want to remind everyone this is a live situation. We're watching it along with you here. A double county chase. It started in Broward, made its way through several highways, I-95, 595, the Turnpike, a road, and now we are in northwest Miami-Dade.
And if you notice for a quick second there, yes, his hands are up.
Okay.
So after all that, he's at the driver's side with the door open.
Looks like he's still in the car, but his hands are up. He's up.
Okay, he's up.
Hands are up, turning himself in.
They're quite a distance back. There they are, back there. There's Florida Highway Patrol there, giving him instructions now, telling him to clear the car.
And he appears to be listening.
Well, he looks on a phone.
Somebody's talking to him on the phone. He's getting a phone call. He's locking the door, shutting the door. Hands up.
Yeah,
he's going to be getting on the ground here, walking backwards.
Or maybe he's calling, who knows?
Yeah, he's been given instructions by the police department.
And he seems to be following whatever it is they're saying. And now more and more officers are arriving on the scene here.
Right.
And of course now as a result of this, it looks like the road is at a standstill. It's shut down while this comes to a conclusion.
Right. We'd be between 183rd Street and 175th Street on the equivalent of the Turnpike here, the Turnpike extension. So that's where this is all taking place right now. The suspect is not in custody. He will be momentarily. He's complying with the police instructions to walk backwards. They'll get him to come all the way away from his car to make sure that there's no issue with a weapon of any kind, because that's the information they were given. Of course, with the shots fired call, and again, leading the police on a 2-county chase. He ends here at some point thinking the better of continuing to flee. He's being given instructions there. You can see officers with weapons drawn, the 2 Florida Highway Patrol officers, the county vehicle there, the white one there in the center there. We've got K-9 there. Of course, as far as the police know, they have not cleared the car yet. Clearing that vehicle is part of the process there because they want to make sure that there's nobody else in there.
Right. For all we know, there might be somebody in there.
There could be somebody else. He's going to end up probably going down to his knees there. They'll tell him to kneel down.
And then lay down and probably put the cuffs on him. And
there you go. Okay, so he's in custody. All right.
So the
now
driver
you can see they're now focusing on the vehicle, right?
Making sure there's no one else inside the car that also might still be armed as well. Because again, for those of you just joining us, this started as a call in North Lauderdale of shots fired. When police approached that scene, this silver Mercedes took off in Broward County, ended up here in Dade County, and that's how this whole thing got started.
Now the Broward police chopper is telling the units on the ground that the front, as far as he can see as he goes right there through the shot, he can see the front seat. He says there's no one else in the front seat, so they know that much going in now. And what they'll do now is these guys who have trained for this will assemble a team that will now go. They'll either have a shield or they'll have some other armament of some kind, and they'll make an approach and check the rest of the vehicle. That'll happen in a couple of seconds here. Let me bring the camera back out just for a second, guys. We're going to show you this here.
Update us on the traffic situation.
Just real quick. I don't want to go off the shot there, but the traffic is slowing down. We've got about a quarter of a mile back up southbound on the turnpike here, just south of 183rd Street. So we have that issue. This suspect here driving that silver Mercedes, we saw him give up about 40 seconds ago. He's going to be placed in the back of one of these cruisers, and as we said earlier, they will be trying to clear the back seats of that Mercedes, make sure there's no one else either in peril or some kind of accomplice or somebody who was involved in the ride there.
Driver in custody. Part B now is to go check the car, clear the car, search the car, and make sure there's no one in there. From all accounts, from the eyes of the Broward helicopter pilot looking in the front seat, who appears to be flying way lower than you, there appears to be no one in that front seat, but you never know if someone's in the back seat. Who knows?
Here's the group that we were talking about a little earlier that said
as happens sometimes when helicopters move around, the signal scrambles and breaks up for a second.
We'll also be
curious to find out if it was some sort of flat or something that forced the car to stop so abruptly.